Welcome to today's deep dive. We're going to be diving into the world of Oracle's Commerce Cloud and CPQ Cloud.
Great.
You sent over some research notes and a white paper on how these platforms work. And clearly you're interested in kind of the nuts and bolts of how this all works.
Yeah.
Maybe you're even thinking of using it for your own business. Well, get ready because we're about to break it all down.
Yeah, and it's more than just selling things online, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about creating like a really tailored experience for each customer from the moment they discover your product to the moment they hit buy, and even beyond.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little. The white paper, I gotta say, it uses a lot of e-commerce lingo. We're talking SKU yums, enough to make anyone's head spin. But don't worry, we'll translate all that into plain English.
Yeah, one of the most fascinating things here is how Commerce Cloud and CPQ Cloud, they each have their own like special roles to play.
Okay.
You can almost think of it like a well choreographed dance.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got Commerce Cloud, that's like the storefront, right? It's showcasing everything. It's handling the straightforward purchases, the simple ones.
Right.
And then you've got CPQ Cloud. That's kind of like our backstage wizard, you know? It manages those intricate configurations and the pricing for the more complex products.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting to me. They both have their own catalogs.
Right,
It's like having two menus at a restaurant.
right.
Like, why is that even necessary?
Well, and that's a great question, right? And you might be wondering why does this even matter to me? Well, imagine this. You're trying to manage, let's say, a sale on a configurable product, right?
Yeah.
And let's say it's something like a bike, but there's like thousands of variations, you know?
Right.
Having CPQ to kind of handle that separately, it's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
So Commerce Cloud can really focus on showcasing those products, handling the straightforward sales, and CPQ can manage all that kind of complexity behind the scenes.
So, okay, so even if I can only buy a product as a custom configuration, it still needs like a placeholder in both catalogs.
That's right, yeah.
That's wild. Why duplicate the work?
And that's all about creating a smooth experience for the customer. So Commerce Cloud needs its catalog to display those products to guide the customer, while CPQ Cloud is using its catalog to manage all those intricate configuration rules. So it keeps the shopping experience simple, even if what's happening in the background is super complex.
Okay, so that makes sense. So tell me, when does CPQ step in?
Okay.
When do I go from buying a plain T-shirt to like customizing, I don't know, a high-end bike? Like, what's the trigger?
Right. Think of it this way. A t-shirt with different colors and sizes, that's what we call a simple product with attributes.
Okay.
Commerce Cloud can handle that, no sweat.
Okay.
But now let's say you want to buy, like you said, like a high-end bicycle.
Right.
And you can customize the frame, the wheels, the gears, the brakes.
Oh, yeah?
Suddenly it's not just about choice, it's about logic, right?
Because those parts have to work together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't put racing brakes on a frame that's designed for, off-road riding. And that's where CPQ Cloud steps in with its rule-based engine. It makes sure everything's compatible and the customer ends up with exactly what they need.
So it's like having a virtual mechanic there, making sure I don't accidentally build a bike that falls apart when I go for my first ride.
That's a great way to put it.
That's pretty cool. This whole behind-the-scenes wizardry thing, I love it. But how do these two systems, Commerce Cloud and CPQ Cloud, actually like talk to each other? It's not like they're sending smoke signals back and forth.
Right. You're right. It's all about seamless integration. Remember that relay race analogy we were talking about earlier?
Right.
That information needs to flow between these systems just as smoothly as that baton passing between runners.
Okay, so walk me through it. I'm on a website. I'm about to customize this dream bike. Where does that handoff happen?
Well, it all starts with that customize button. That's kind of like the starting pistol, right?
Okay.
So when you click that button, Commerce Cloud kicks off that relay race. It passes key product information over to CPQ Cloud.
Because the CPQ Cloud knows what bike I'm looking at even before I start like
Right.
customizing it.
Exactly. It receives all the essentials, the product ID, any pre-selected attributes, maybe even customer data if you're logged in.
Yeah.
It's not just about the product, it's about creating that really personalized experience for you.
So it's like, hey, CPQ, this customer is looking at the Mountain Climber 3000. They already chose the large frame size. Make it happen.
That's a great way to put it. And based on that information, CPQ can then start personalizing that configuration experience, right? Maybe it preloads certain options based on your past purchases, Or maybe it suggests an upgrade based on, popular choices.
Okay, now we're talking. But let's stick with the bike for a minute. I'm in there, I'm clicking away, I'm adding those racing brakes, going for that lightweight frame. What's CPQ doing in the background while I'm busy building my dream machine?
Well, this is where CPQ really earns its keep. I mean, it's not just taking your order, it's actually validating every choice you make against a set of predefined rules, right? Those logical dependencies we talked about.
So like if I try to add those racing brakes to a frame that's not compatible.
Exactly. CPQ is going to step in and let you know.
Okay.
It might even offer some helpful suggestions like, hey, those brakes are really designed for speed. You might want to consider these lightweight tires for optimal performance.
Sure.
It's like having that virtual bike mechanic guiding you through the whole process.
That's amazing. It's all starting to click now. But what about the price? Is that like changing in real time too as I'm adding or removing parts?
Absolutely, yeah. CPQ dynamically recalculates that price with each choice you make. So you're always in control, always aware of the cost, no surprises at checkout.
Now that's what I call transparency. Okay, my bike is built, I'm ready to buy. Does the baton get passed back to Commerce Cloud at this point?
You got it. So CPQ neatly packages all those configuration details, including that final price, into a little package called a Bill of Materials, BOM for short.
A BORM. So it's kind of like, spy movie-ish.
Don't worry, it's not as dramatic as it sounds. A BOM is really just a detailed list of all the components you've chosen for your custom product. And this BOM then gets passed back to Commerce Cloud.
And Commerce Cloud sees this like super detailed bike order, even though it like originated in CPQ.
Exactly. From that point on, Commerce Cloud takes over, guides you through the rest of that purchase process. Payments, shipping, order confirmation, everything you'd expect from a seamless online checkout.
Wow, that's impressive. So we've got this like elegant back and forth between these two systems all happening like behind the scenes just to give me, the customer, this like smooth and personalized experience. It really is like a well-rehearsed dance routine.
That's a great way to put it. And while it might sound complicated, the beauty of this integration is that it really simplifies things for both the buyer and the seller.
Yeah, I can see that. But hold on, we've been talking a lot about like buying products, right? What about like ongoing services or subscriptions? How does that factor into this whole Commerce Cloud and CPQ cloud dance?
That's where the concept of asset-based ordering comes in. And it's a game changer, but
So we're back and ready to tackle this whole asset-based ordering concept.
yeah, and it's actually easier to grasp than it sounds. Asset-based ordering, or ABO for short, it just means we're kind of shifting our thinking from like one-time transactions to really managing the entire life cycle of a service or a subscription.
Okay, I need a real-world example here.
Yeah.
How about like we ditch the bike and try something else?
Okay, sure. Imagine this. You're not just buying a software subscription, right? You're signing up for a whole suite of services. So that could be cloud storage, customer support, maybe even automatic updates. And that entire bundle that's treated as one asset with CPQ Cloud kind of like orchestrating it all.
So it's not just about that initial purchase, it's about like everything that happens after.
Exactly. And this is where CPQ Cloud really shines because it can bundle those products and services. It can manage those often complex pricing rules, based on usage or contract length. And it can even automate things like recurring billing so you don't have to lift a finger.
Okay, that makes sense. But what if I need to change my subscription? Like, what if I need to upgrade my software or change my support level?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's where ABO gets really powerful because CP2 Cloud can handle those modifications effortlessly. It can recalculate pricing on the fly, prorate charges, update that asset record, all seamlessly.
Well, so it's like having a dedicated assistant managing all the nitty-gritty details of my subscription.
You got it. And here's the best part. Because CPQ Cloud is keeping this like really detailed history of that asset, every modification, every interaction, businesses can actually gain incredible insights into customer behavior.
So it's not just about like making life easier for the customer. It's actually like a gold mine of data for businesses too.
Yeah.
A win-win, right?
Absolutely. And this brings us to a crucial point we touched on earlier, a unified customer view. Imagine a customer buys a simple product through Commerce Cloud, then later on configures a complex product using CPQ Cloud. Ideally, businesses want to see all of that in one place.
So no more like separate silos of information, right?
Yeah.
Sales, marketing, customer support, everyone's singing from the same song sheet.
Precisely. And it creates a far more seamless customer experience and empowers those businesses to make much smarter decisions.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from like basic online shopping to configuring custom products to managing these like complex subscriptions. It's amazing how much goes on behind the scenes just to create this smooth and personalized customer experience.
Yeah, and we've only just scratched the surface, right? The world of e-commerce is constantly evolving. There's always new technologies and innovations emerging all the time.
So if there's one thing to take away from today's deep dive, it's this. Whether you're using Oracle or another platform, the key is to always be thinking about how you can leverage technology to create those amazing customer-centric experiences. That's how you build loyalty, and that's how you drive growth in today's digital world. Something to think about.